What's poppin', everybody? It's your boy All Around Rule. Tonight we're gonna talk a little UFL. I got a few topics I want to touch on. The first topic is the CBA negotiations and a quote-unquote player strike. The UFL brought this on themselves. Last year, they didn't even pay the incentives that they signed up to pay in the 2024 negotiations for that year. They were supposed to play player of the week, offensive player of the week, defensive player of the week, MVP, all of them. They were supposed to pay for them. That was supposed to be pay incentives for the players, and they did not pay the players. And there wasn't no uproar with the players last year. They played. They didn't cause no ruckus or nothing. So this year, with the CBA going on and the United Football Players Association trying to get a better deal for multiple years, it seemed like people putting out these bad articles and trying to say all the players was going to strike. I don't feel that way. I feel like they definitely was going to try to put some pressure on them. But they probably was going to miss a few like media days or, days like that. But actually missing the games, I don't think they got the leverage to do that. I do think the UFL got leverage to get other players. The talent wouldn't be the same, but they still have leverage to get other players to play. Yeah, and I feel like everybody just like panicking because nobody really knew that a CBA negotiations was going on. Like last year, it just was for 1 year. So I think a lot of people thought like last year when that CBA was going on that it had to do with multiple years, but it really didn't. So now that it's going on, people are like, oh my God, the union trying to take more money and this, that, and it ain't even about just the money. It's more into it. Like, you feel me? And people talking like they at the table when they not even at the table. They just on Twitter and the internet just like myself with just assumptions. So I think people should just chill out and focus on what's going on. The players are at training camp right now. I don't even know why we still talking about player strikes when they already having many scrimmages already. Like next week probably be cuts. Like they probably start making cuts next week. Like it's Wednesday. Like we literally two weeks away from kickoff. And these guys practicing, they already had joint practices today. So I'm like, why are we still talking about player strikes and stuff? They all went to the media days. They did everything they were supposed to do except for the quarterbacks. They didn't go. They skipped the little mini camp before arrival or whatever. So I think people should just chill out with that. So that's that topic. Luis Perez had an interview over the weekend. Well, probably like last week. He said the UFL was better than the NFL preseason. And it's crazy because I always thought to myself that the CFL, the UFL, and the NFL preseason was all on the same level for real. Even though a lot of people say the NFL preseason, like, they ain't in it to win. They in it to, like, scheme and see what they want and see what type of players they... But I tell them this. If they chose to play to win, the level of play would be better than the UFL. Slightly. Because it's the same talent, but it's slightly better. Because they playing majority of the good rookies. Not all the good rookies, the top good rookies, but majority of them, they play. And you got majority of the practice squad players. And that's what the UFL and CFL, not really CFL because they got a different type of way they go about getting players because they draft Canadian players and import American players. So it's kind of different. They got a different type of way. So they different. They getting a different type of talent because they definitely getting some good Canadians. It's definitely some good Canadians if you watch the CFL. So, but the American players they get is this around the same level as the practice squad players. And UFL GMs, they love NFL practice squad players. And I feel like they should really tap into more of the college guys that really need to develop to try to get in the NFL, like a Cam Rising and a DJU, them type of guys. You feel me? Because they're gonna bring eyeballs too. Like if they was to draft these guys, get these guys like the 5th and 6th year seniors that stayed in college too long and they need to develop somewhere because they didn't get drafted. I feel like that's who the UFL should target instead of going for the NFL vets. I mean, the practice squad quarterbacks because I feel like that's really the opportunity, giving back the opportunity for real, for real. If you ask me, rather than giving it to a guy on a practice squad, give it to a guy that's really trying to develop and get to that part. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, I feel like the NFL preseason is slightly better than the UFL and the CFL. Because the best players from the UFL and the CFL, when they trying to get back in the NFL, they go to the NFL preseason and play and show their talent and try to latch on to one of them practice squads and if they really, really good, they go to the active roster right then and there. Boom. You know what I'm saying? But that's rare. Kickers can do that for sure. Specialists can do that for sure. So that lead me into my third. Well, it all tied together. Luke Miller, Study of the Stallions, put out a pay tier though, and he had the NFL tier 1, UFL, CFL tier 2. He had the international leagues tier 3. I get him because that was outside. And then he had the indoor arenas 4. But that was pay. That was going off strictly pay. And I kind of agree with him. Well, I do agree with him. But if we're going on talent, I'm going to put the UFL before the CFL. And I'm going to put the IFL before I put the international leagues. That's just me as far as talent is go. NFL, UFL, CFL, IFL, to me, in my opinion. And yeah, so that's that. Just a few topics I wanted to touch. Quick rant. See you in a minute.